Hello, class 11C. I'm going to start chapter 2. Topic is central problem of economy from your book Microeconomics. So, first of all, in this chapter, we are going to understand what is economic problem. So, already we had discussed in statistic, economic problem is all about selection. Yeah, it is related to problem of choice. Okay. So, here is also written that, sorry, problem of choice arising from use of limited means which have alternative use for the satisfaction of various want cause of economic problem. So first of all, economics problem is selection, problem of selection या problem of choice. Why we face this problem? So here is the reason, because our resources means resources are limited, okay, and they can be put into alternative uses. What is this alternative uses? Alternative uses means when we can use one thing in different way, like milk, like electricity. You can use milk as a beverage, sweet, paneer, cheese, curd, coffee, okay. So you can use milk in any way. So here is the problem. First, resources are limited and you can use it in many way, like a plot. It can be used for making house, it can be used for making hospital, park, industry, farm. So you have to decide which option you want to select. Okay, so in this way, economic problem is the result of unlimited human wants. Our wants are recurring in nature, yani कि when one want is going to be fulfilled, another is going to take place. Okay, so it is endless. Okay, now next is limited economic resources. Our resources, if I talk about a family, so family income is limited. Okay, it is fixed. If I talk about a country, so natural resources and factor of production both are given. So we can't do everything, each thing with that fixed resources. Alternative uses of resources, already I had told you कि alternative use यानी कि you can make anything in any many a different way, like plot. So you have to decide कि what you want to do with the plot. You want to use as a residential house, you want to use at a park, industry setup, hospital. So these are the economic problem. Now if I talk about the central problem, so economics problem is known as a central problem at a economy level. Okay, every economy, it is a developed economy or it is a developing economy, every economy face the problem of central problem. What is this? The central problem means allocation of resources. Now what is allocation? Allocation means best use of resources. Okay, already we know resources means what? Resources means natural resources and factor of production. So these are fixed. We have to ensure that we are going to make it best use. Now what are the central problem that each and every economy face? So first is what to produce, that is related to selection of good. There are lot of variety of goods. The economy have to decide कि resources are going to be used for which type of good, production of which type of good. How to produce, it is related to selection of technique. For whom to produce, it is related to distribution of national income. Okay, we are going to discuss each and every one. Okay, so first of all, central problem, what do you mean? Allocation of resources. Okay, so first problem is what to produce of what quantity. This is the first question that arise in front of every economy. Okay, when there is decision of doing the production. If I talk about the type of goods, so basically we divide it as a war good, sorry, war good, peace good, consumer good, capital good. Okay, if economy is producing consumer goods, so standard of living is going to be high, but future growth is going to be low. if economy is going to decide to produce more capital good, so growth will be high in future, but present standard of living is going to be low. War time good, if economy is producing war time goods, so it's mean that you are going to feel more protective, your international boundary is going to be more safe, but you are going to compromise with the standard of living of the people. You are not able to expend the money on education, on human capital formation, infrastructure. So this is the problem that is faced by economy. Next, how to produce. So it is related to uh, type of good, type of technique. Basically there are two type of technique: capital intensive and labor intensive. And next is for whom to produce. It is related to distribution of national income. Now, efficient utilization of resources. Next problem is what? Ki we are going to make the best use of our available resources. Like you can take the example of petrol. Everyone know that petrol is a conventional way of energy source. One day it is sure that it is going to be exhausted, but each and everyone is using personal bike, personal vehicle. Okay, in this way we are using this valuable resources in irrational manner. So as a human being, for the sustainable development, we have to ensure that we are going to use all the available resources in a best manner. It is water, it is air, it is land, everything. Now, growth of resources. So growth of resources means what? When there is increase in productivity of resources, so it is known as a growth of resources. यानी कि resources growth is only possible with the technology, because we can't make the change in the land area, we can't make the change in the air, we can't make change in the natural resources. But no doubt, with the help of the new technology, we can able to increase the productivity. Like for example HYV technology. Before the 1970 implementation of green revolution, we are dependent upon USA, but after adoption of green revolution, we are self reliant in production of food grain, and we are maintaining buffer stock. So technology is the way we can increase our productivity, yani we are able to do growth. Okay, now we are going to discuss that three center problem in detail. The center problem, what to produce, refers to which good and service will be produced in an economy and in what quantity. So this is the meaning of what to produce. An economy has to produce those goods and services where there will be maximum social utility. So you are going to produce peace good, war good, capital good, consumer good. So what you have to keep in mind? Social utility. So this problem is studied under the price theory. Now next is how to produce. How to produce is related to selection of technology. There are two types of technology: labor and capital. Labor intensive means more use of labor. Capital intensive means more use of capital. Now an economy has to select that technique which maximize the output at a minimum cost. So which technology economy is going to pick up, it depends upon whose cost is going to be low. Like if you are constructing a road in a village area, and if you are using the machinery, so it become costly. Okay, you can use labor because that area labor surplus, easily you get the labor. Okay, but on the other hand, if you talk about the urban area, so you can't block a road for a month or for a 15 or 16 days. So no doubt you have to use capital intensive, yani you have to use more machine to construct a road. So which technique you are going to pick up, it depend upon need, objective and availability of factor. Labor is available or capital is e.g. available. Okay, so this theory is related to theory of production. Now, labor intensive and capital intensive. In more detail, when goods are produced using large quantity of labor and very few simple machines, so it is known as a labor intensive, like handloom goods, like Banarsi sari, silk sari, basket making. So these are the example of labor intensive. The degree of labor intensive typically measured in proportion to the amount of the capital required to produce goods and services. The higher proportion of labor cost require more labor intensive business. Okay. Now if I talk about the capital, so here we are going to use more capital in compared to labor, and it's mean we are going to use more machine, we have to invest more. Okay. Now, the third problem is for whom to produce. For whom to produce is related to selection of people. Yani ki, if we talk about the economics, so in economics, always society is divided into two sections, poor and non-poor. Yani ki poor and rich. So who are able to purchase goods and services at market price, they are non-poor. Who are not able to purchase, they are poor. So economy have to decide for whom it want to produce the good. Okay, what is written here? It is related to distribution of produced goods and services among the factor of production from rent, wages, interest and profits. This is explained under the theory of distribution. Okay, for the selection of an opportunity. Okay, so in this way the concept of central problem has over. Now we are going to discuss about the opportunity cost. What is opportunity cost? So for the selection of an opportunity, the sacrifice of the next best alternative is called opportunity cost. And very simple, opportunity cost means opportunity lost. Whatever we are going to give up, the next second best option is the opportunity cost of first one. Okay, so it is the amount of one commodity that to be sacrificed to increase the production of other commodity. Now, so in this way, in one line, opportunity cost, it is the cost of next best alternative foregone. Okay, here is given one example. Ruth has a mobile shop. She wants to employ two students to work for her between June and August. She expected each employee to generate 250 a day each of then the 70 working days of this period. However, she lost 2 days at the start of the period and fully trained her employees. They could generate 260 a day. What is the opportunity cost of not training her employee? So, you have to give this answer. Okay, what you are giving up, that is the opportunity cost of first one. Now this is the next part of your chapter. Your chapter is divided into two parts. First is all about the central problem and the second is production possibility. So for understanding the production possibility, we have to understand the concept of opportunity cost. The opportunity cost is the next best that you forgot. For example, you are having two job option A and B. A is giving you 50,000, B is giving you 40,000. If you selected A, so 40,000 it is its opportunity cost. Okay, now what is production possibilities? So different combination of goods and services which an economy can produce with its available resources and given technology. Okay, now what is PPC curve? It is a curve which depicts all possible combination of two goods that an economy can produce with the utilization of available resources and technique of production. It is an important tool to solve the central economic problem. It is known as a transformation curve and production possibility frontier. Now, PPC curve, its feature. So whenever you draw the PPC, it is Okay, it is convex. There is a wrong diagram. uh, it is convex and there will be increasing. Okay, now slope downward from left to right, because if production of one commodity is to be increased, then production of other commodity has to be sacrificed. There is negative relation between the good X and good Y. If you want to increase the production of good X, you have to decrease the production of good Y. Why? Because all resources are fully employed. Now concave to the origin because of increasing MRT. So wrong, by mistake, there is different diagram. Okay, when we draw the PPC curve, so how we will draw? Like that. Okay, so it is convex, concave. Okay, concave reason is increasing MRT. Okay, here is given shift in PPC. We find shift in PPC when there is increase in the production. Okay, if there is increase in production या decrease in production of both the good, so there will be shift in PPC. If change in technology, change in resources or technology for both the good, so there will be shift in PPC. Okay, rightward shift when there is improvement in technology or increase in resources for both the good. So if there is increase in resources or improvement in technology for both good, so in this case there will be rightward shift. Okay, if there is decrease in resources or degradation in technology for both goods, so there will be leftward shift. So that is given here. Okay, so rightward shift when there is improvement or increase in resources. Okay, and leftward when there is degradation or decrease in resources. Okay, now production possibility curve also rotate. When it rotate, when there is improvement for one good, when there is growth in resources for one good, so we find rotation in PPC. Okay, here you can see कि when there is increase in production, so there is rightward rotation. When there is increase in for X good, so there is rightward rotation. Now what is MRT? Marginal rate of transformation. So it is the amount of one commodity that is to be sacrificed to increase the production of other good. Okay, if you want to increase the production of X, how much you have to give up production of Y? So this is MRT. MRT can also be called marginal opportunity cost. It explains rate of sacrifice, how much you are giving up to increase production of X. Okay, now marginal rate of transformation, MRT is what? MRT is the ratio of unit of one good sacrificed to produce one more unit of other good, and this is the equation. Thank you. In the next video we are going to discuss chapter 3.